And don't forget, they're just 2 back of the division in the American League West, and Jake Burger has been a big part of it. 4 homers and 7 starts in the month of September, 786 slug, an OPS over 1,100. They're in town to take on the New York Mets. It is going to be Jacob deGrom going for the Rangers against his former team. We'll talk about that in just a second, but we're pleased to have Jake Burger joining us in studio. A return visit. You've been here before.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm excited to be back.
When Brooks, your son, was little, I remember it.
Yeah, he would love running around here right now. I wish he was here.
Oh, you should have brought him.
Right?
You're fresh off a 2-home run performance against the Brewers, part of a sweep of a very, very good Milwaukee Brewer team. What has been working so well for you recently?
You know, I think obviously in the playoff push, it's just I'm focused on getting a good pitch and putting a good swing on it. You know, that's at the end of the day, that's what's going to help the team, and I'm just focused on winning baseball games. So that seems to be it.
You know, guys always talk about when they go on the injured list, it takes a second for rhythm and timing. You've had to do that 3 times this year. What's been the biggest challenge coming back each and every time?
Yeah, I think that the timing at the end of the day is all that's important during that. And, you know, fortunately, I've able to kind of step right back into it. You know, I felt like I was really good until I had the wrist thing. And, you know, it's kind of frustrating when you go on that many times, but just trying to take it in stride and try not to too much. You know, I think when you're on the IL, you see your guys out there banging, you know, having a really good go at it. You know, they were winning a lot of games, and for me, you want to get back in there and try and help the team hit a home run. But it's honestly, you have to be less of that and just, hey, like, I'm just going to try and get the bat on the ball.
You know, Jake, I was in a hotel room in Philadelphia. It comes on. Texas is playing Milwaukee. Fastball Freddie Peralta, who's currently, I think, at 29 scoreless innings. And he's pitching to you, and he throws a high fastball. Everyone in the National League knows if Fastball Freddie throws a high fastball, no one hits it, they might foul it off. You tomahawked it to center field. That's been part of your rejuvenation in September as well. Yeah,
for sure. You know, I feel like that's sort of my superpower a little bit, and wasn't with me for a majority of the season, and feels like it's coming back, and so that's always a good thing.
How about your team now? 14-4
yes.
in your last 18 games. How are you doing it? I mean, you guys were as low could be, and now just a complete rejuvenation.
Yeah, it's that next man up mentality. It's been really cool to see these young guys come up and do something. You know, obviously Cody Freeman coming up in big spots. Michael Hellman. Let's talk about Michael Hellman.
Yes.
I mean, that's
a 29-year-old rookie.
Yeah, and he's doing it.
We were trying to think of a mock-up tape like Hellman's mayonnaise or
well,
something.
they're calling these young kids the Little Rascals.
Yeah,
right.
That's the nickname.
I mean, because this team, I was telling you before we came on that, you know, I see on the ticker Nate Eovaldi done for the season, Marcus Semien done for the season. I was like, well, it seems like the Rangers are looking forward to 2026. How do you explain that?
I think these young guys have brought up just that energy, you know, of like, hey, like I got something to prove, and I think that rubs off on everybody. And obviously, we're pitching the ball really well. Bullpen's been really good, lights out, and giving us a chance offensively every single night to come back into games. And that's kind of the MO, right? You know, it feels like we're playing playoff baseball from September 1 to now.
Well, you're playing. The games will continue, and this weekend, a very interesting series against the New York Mets. And tonight, Jacob deGrom returns to Queens. What do you expect, and what has it been like having Jacob deGrom as a teammate? Yeah,
I mean, he's the ultimate pro, and he stays very even keel. I know he's excited to get back here, but you know, he won't show that too much. It's just kind of, hey, I'm here to do my thing, and I'm excited to see the reaction from the fans tonight, and get to play behind them. It's always fun to play behind them.
There's a lot of players watching, Jake, especially minor leaguers. And you walked in here and you said, I said, congratulations. We all congratulated you. You said, man, it's been a year. What can you say about adversity and how you've handled it? And maybe it'll kind of guide someone else out there.
Yeah, you know, I'm a big believer in, you know, some things that appear bad end up being the best things in your life. And, you know, for me, this year has kind of been one of those roller coasters. Got optioned in May, and been on the IL 3 times. And you just kind of have to take it in stride. You know, don't get wrapped up in the negatives. It's like, all right, what's the next step forward? And that's just bringing positivity and energy every single day.
Well, we know Brooks. We haven't met Penelope. Tell us about her.
Yeah, she's beautiful. You know, she was born with Down syndrome October 25th of last year, and she's doing great. She's growing, doing her thing, and she's definitely a blessing for all of us.
That's why the number 21 is significant to you. Explain to the people out there.
Yeah, so trisomy 21 is actually the clinical diagnosis of Down syndrome, and obviously Penelope has that diagnosis and got traded, I don't know, like 2 weeks after she was born to Texas, and it's time to pick a new number, and Ashlyn, my wife, was like, hey, like 21s would be really awesome for this
nice.
community, and that's kind of how I take it. It's not really my number, it's the entire community's number, and it's just been really special to get to wear that.
When I was in AAA, get back to baseball, I get there, and my locker mate is a guy that brings around his own helmet because his head was too big. How is it playing for Bose? Bruce Bochy was my locker mate my first year in AAA. He used to catch me, and I was like, he had his own helmet because no one could bring a helmet, but it's special to play for Bochy.
Yeah, super special. I've been fortunate to play for Tony La Russa in Chicago and Bruce Bochy, so two living legends that it's been cool to kind of see how they're very similar but also very different in how they manage a team, and he's awesome, man. He's just so chill, so even keel, and knows that we're putting out the best lineup every single night.
Yeah, he's a great teammate.
Jake, you mentioned how special your family is, how much they mean to you. You've established the Berger Family Foundation, and you've got a big-time event coming up in November. Tell people about it.
Yeah, it's really exciting for us. Obviously, the foundation is surrounded with, Down syndrome families and giving back to Down syndrome families, but at the Nashville Sound Stadium, November 16th, we're having a celebrity softball game.
Nice.
It's really exciting. We got a lot of baseball players kind of already committed and confirmed. Corey Seager's going to be there.
Look at this
Josh
list.
Young. I mean, yeah, it's a pretty big list, and it almost feels like an all-star game in a sense.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then obviously we're confirming more country music stars, but like Tucker Wetmore is one of the big ones we've got confirmed already. But over the next 2 months, it's going to be cool to kind of announce who's coming.
Will you make sure you reach out to us? Because anything we can do, we would love to try to
Oh,
help.
that'd be awesome.
I love that. And you said when your daughters had that diagnosis, you said, I feel like it's our purpose. Like it was chosen for us. What an outlook. Tell me about that.
Yeah. Obviously when you have the platform that we have, it's you're trying to find how to use it for good, right? And kind of felt like God just gifted her to us, and we used her and that diagnosis to kind of support and lift all of those that lifted us up through the diagnosis. So it's been really special for us. Just every city, we're meeting new families, and whether they have a brother that has Down syndrome or a daughter or son that has Down syndrome, it's been really special for us to kind of connect with the community all around the country.
How can people find out more about the event and the foundation itself?
So Berger Family Foundation on Instagram.
Okay.
It's also .org, I think. But yeah, everything's up there, and tickets are on sale, so it should be a fun time.
It sounds like it. Hey, Jake Berger, as you mentioned, the Rangers in town to take on the New York Mets.